everyone, and thanks for joining us in this very first episode of Axyon AI Talks, which is our new series of webinars where we talk with leaders and thought leaders in the asset management industry and its various facets. And we start today with CA Technologies, which is a partner of Axyon AI since a few years back. And just as a way of introduction, so my name is Daniele Grassi. I'm the founder and CEO of Axyon AI, and we are obviously a company that develops cutting-edge AI technology for the asset management industry. And we develop predictive models based on AI that helps asset managers in improving the performance of their strategies and mitigate the risks of their portfolios. And we are here with Riccardo and Mattias from C8, which were very, very kind to be willing to expose themselves to the risks of being the first guests of this series. So thanks for joining us. And maybe it would be great if you could introduce C8 and yourselves.
Thank you very much, Daniele. Yes, my name is Riccardo Baroni. I'm the head for Italy, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, and France and Monaco for CA Technologies. Very proud to represent here, having an office in Milan, Italy, and very proud also to have a partnership with Axyon for our platform. Thank you.
So my name is Mattias Eriksson. So I'm the CEO and founder of CA Technologies. And thank you very much, Dan, for introducing. It's a pleasure working with you. And it's quite amazing stuff you have on your product list, which we are happy that we can present in C8. So C8 was started 2017, and it's a bit a new way to get access to alpha. So traditionally, the way to invest in alpha is through fund investments or ETFs. So what we do instead is make it possible for the investor to invest in the underlying stocks himself. And the reason why we set up CA Technologies was mainly around three things: transparency, lower cost, and customization. So by being able to see the underlying stocks, you have full transparency. And this can be quite important in certain investment styles like ESG, because then you really want to see what's going on inside the portfolio. And being able, if you are able to invest yourself, then of course it's easier and lower cost for you compared to fund investments. And that depending on the client, it can be other implications as well, tax implications, netting and such things. And the third thing, which is becoming quite important for us, is tailor-made solutions. So one investor maybe has a different risk perspective to another investor. And by using CA together with Axyon, we can target different risk solutions depending on the investor.
Can I ask you to provide a little bit of background on what direct indexing is? Because maybe not everyone is.
So direct indexing really started. So when we set up CA Technologies, we set them from this perspective of transparency, lower cost, and a tailor-made solution. Something called direct indexing has been quite popular in the US market. So it's been popular maybe 10 years. And the reason why it's been popular in the US market is if you own underlying stock and the stock is losing money, then you can actually sell that stock and have a tax loss. And you can then use that tax loss against, for some people, even salary income. So that means it's a quite big business in the US market. The business has been mainly around retail investors. So if you have a tax status of a retail So professional investor hasn't used it so much. So it's been retail investments and family offices. So that's why you see there is a big drive in the US market, especially this year, considering what happened in the market.
What is your target market segment? So where do you see in the market more appetite, at least in Europe, for this type of tech?
Okay, Daniele, once again, thank you very much. Really appreciate, you know, how the Italian market is important for us, and appreciate the collaboration with you. A very innovative company, allow me to say, lots of energy there, but more than this, the capabilities to take this innovation to the Italian market. And just reinforce what Mattias said, which is very important, is that what I promote as well, direct indexing, is like a modern approach to invest. I think it's a very modern approach. Is wonderful for the clients because they have the possibility, as Mattias say, to personalize, to make their own portfolio, to optimize their own portfolio. So what you're saying here is a trend that is getting better and better in Europe, in the US, already existing for many years. But our target market in Italy or in Europe, as I'm the head of certain important countries like Italy, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, part of France and Monaco, is that we see that family offices are using us, wealth managers are using us, mutual funds are using us, hedge funds are using us, pension funds are using us. So it's a great extent, and I think people are looking more in a more serious way about direct indexing, because direct indexing is a trend to stay. And the beautiful thing, as Mattias said, you have the full control. So whatever you do with direct indexing, you invest directly to the index and all the equities or futures or any kind of products that you can have. And the other thing as well, which I think which C8 brings around Europe, around the world, is the international diversification. So doesn't matter if you have an index in Italy, in the US, or in China, C8 allows you to open this world. It's a marketplace for you. So in your case, specifically in your case, we have a dedicated partnership with you. So we are an index provider, so the people can go there, immediate access, but not only, they can mix and match, they can produce more alpha, they can reduce less risk.
Do you have any like numerical size of the trends in the market for the adoption of direct indexing, just to give perspective in terms of growth of this market?
Yeah, so the major growth is in the US market, and then we see a growth between 20 to 50% a year now, and and what you see is that it's not so easy to find these technologies, and people are really investing in the technologies. And as Riccardo, where we are a bit different to the US competition, they just do equities, US equities and US ETFs. That's what they do. What we do is we have a more global perspective. So we have assets from the whole world, and we're covering equities, FX, futures, even crypto. So it's all built on this kind of a multi-asset model. And I think that is why it's important this year, because of course, well, last year was a tough year for equities. So people starting to look into alternatives like your strategies, instead of just buying an Euro Stocks 50 ETF or an S&P ETF or a bond ETF. So what I see in the market is a lot of people are very interested in new ways to invest. And I think that is beneficial for new investment alternatives.
Yeah.
And we are basically working with wealth managers. Wealth manager can create their own product, the basis of your product, and then they can sell to their clients. So our current clients is business to business.
The potential and also the implementation are all over the landscape, so across all asset classes. But do you see any more relevant interest from your clients on specific areas?
Yeah, so they are thematic is interesting, but alternatives as well. Alternatives, so basically something else than just equities and bonds. And also maybe new ways to portfolio optimize. So you have a lot of instruments, and as Riccardo, we have some technology to coming up with good combinations of instruments over time. So that is another thing that could be interesting to look into the portfolio. The way we work is very collaborative. So we work together with the client. So that is very different to a fund solution when you're selling a fund. Here we are working as almost more like a partnership with both yourselves and also with the investor. So basically this is your indices on the platform. And this is what we call the marketplace. So we have quite a few different kind of asset classes in the platform, and we also have a lot of different types of instrument kind of index providers. And there is there's a different kind of index types. So we have more AI, which is of course Axyon. And then we also have long short, we have thematics and different kind of other solutions. But this is what so when you start working with us, this is what you gonna get logged into what we call CA Studio. And this is the ways where you can look at the performances. So the performance is updating daily. And then you can see, for instance, this performance of this index here, how it's working. And then let's say you are interested, I really want to invest in this. Then you need to tell us what broker you're using. The client needs to tell the broker. So it could be interactive brokers, it could be Saxo Bank, but it could also be professional, it could be UniCredit. So there is a lot of ways we're implementing. And here you can follow the performance of the different instruments.
We've been very happy to be able to start providing on the CA platform several of our indices, which are powered by our own AI technology. And what you're showing are mostly equities indices, which are long only, which try to beat the performance of a benchmark, which generally links to a standard benchmark index, such as, for example, in the case of Euro stocks that you were showing in the list, our indices try to select stocks from the Euro Stoxx 50 indexes so that the performance of our indices is better, improves in terms of both return and risk profile compared to the benchmark index. And this is where, let's say, the technology that we have developed really shows its potential in being able to select and to provide value in terms of stock selection, but also in overweighting sectors or even countries in a very tactical manner. And I think that for the nature of how these indices are constructed, they also could be very well suited to be integrated with other indices that are on your platform, so that the client and the user can really benefit from combining different sources of alpha, which are very often not correlated between them. So that is very powerful. And I've tried your platform obviously several times. And I think that one of the elements that it's really powerful, it's also the portfolio construction optimization.
Absolutely.
They have, because I think that that's one component of, in general, direct indexing, which is very powerful, because in the end, you can take several sources of alpha or market views in the form of indices, combine them, but then on top of them, apply a portfolio construction optimization that ensures that the results fit with your risk profile. And so I was also curious about the crypto space. You mentioned that there is some interest, and you probably have some index which tracks
Absolutely.
and works with crypto assets. I was wondering how you see the appetite of the market for that asset class, especially now that we are again in a sort of crypto winter.
It's interesting because whenever I go and talk to family offices, or even maybe not pension fund, family offices, private wealth, people are very interested in it. So they still, I would say they are still interested in the investment into the sector for sure. So, and I don't think it's going to go away. So I think what we see, the correction in the market is probably going to establish the sector. Hopefully we don't get this someone else blow up. But because I guess the problem with crypto is the operational risk, and that is the big thing, and that you don't want to lose your money because of someone else take them. That's the biggest problem. Investment risk is easier to keep track on, and I think that is the drawback for more institutional money to get into the crypto space is because of the operational risk. Not performance risk. And on the platform we have 3 or 4 crypto indices. We have more long only indices, so they had to have maybe the 15 best indices, but we also have active indices. So we are using trend following signals in the crypto space, and it's actually working. But then I guess you need to invest in the derivative market, the futures market, or depending on the provider. But I think the underlying technology, the blockchain, is very interesting from a from perspective, and we're actually using the blockchain in our platform. So if someone is using an index, there's a blockchain created between the Axyon, ourselves, and the client in order to monitoring the transactions. But this is a private blockchain, so of course no one is not going to be on an exchange. So the underlying technology, and we actually got a patent in the US market, this blockchain together with direct indexing.
No, that's interesting for sure. The element of decentralizing the authority is very powerful in blockchains. And when we talk about crypto assets, we are actually talking about one of the like implementation or use cases, if you want, or byproducts even of the technology. When you talk with wealth managers and asset owners, what are the biggest doubts they have on regarding direct indexing? What are their fears?
So everyone feels this is the future. The doubts, or it's just implementation wise, if they have the infrastructures to do it. I think everyone recognizes that this is the future, because it's mass customization, and I think this is going to go down to the retail market. But it depends on the technology. So we have Robinhood, we have this kind of ways to trade without cost. And of course, then direct index investment is quite interesting because you have direct liquidity, so you can go in and out very quickly. And you can, instead of buying an ETF, you can buy individual stocks. It's basically going back to where it was in the 1930s, 1940s. So I think we're going to see something. I think also for the new generation, this is obvious, and you probably should be able to do it on your phone very quickly and customize and do everything by yourself. I think that's a challenge. That's a challenge for the old wealth managers, which they try to address.
Let's say that for the newer generation, it probably is kind of difficult to understand the delays in the liquidity of movements.
Exactly. So you see, so explaining direct indexing is almost easier to younger generations, because they ask why wouldn't you do that in the first place?
That direct indexing is very beneficial for the players that also want to put a part of their expertise and knowledge in combining different indices and sources of alpha. So for those type of players, there surely is a great upside from this approach. And what about AI? So what do you see in the market about in terms of appetite for AI-powered strategy, which in the end is neither a thematic approach or an asset class approach, but it's like more horizontal approach that and technology that can be applied in improving in an asset agnostic way the performances of strategies.
Absolutely. So I guess it's investment in AI-related companies. People are, as a thematic investment, is very interesting because everyone knows this is going to be the future. And then using AI for investment process is quite interesting as well. I guess the key is that people using AI to invest can explain how it's working. So because investments is all about understand what's working behind. So the important is that the investor feel confident that the model he understands the model basically. So sometimes if for investors is better to understand the model than to have the absolute best returns, because then it's easier to put into your portfolio something you understand what's going on. So I think for sure AI is already here in a way because our background is quant trading, so it's systematic quantitative trading, and a lot of the technologies that use into this world is kind of the cheap friend to what Axyon is using. And so it's been around in investment community for a long time. And now we just need to, it's almost like Tesla, isn't it? You have the technology, the self-driving car, so you use it where it's applicable. And then in the future, maybe you're going to use it everywhere. But just now we use the technology when we're cruising on the autobahn because that is working. So I think AI is very, very interesting. That was actually what got me into investment in the first place. So yeah, I'm very interested in the subject in itself.
No, the element of explainability, it would be my answer probably to the reverse question of what are the biggest fears in implementing our technology. There is this human need of understanding things. I think when there is AI involved, it is true. There is this need of understand a little bit of how it works. I think that the main point is being able to create a narrative on what the AI thinks or does, rather than truly understanding the cause-effect logic of the AI itself, because it's often impossible. If the model is sophisticated enough, it is theoretically impossible to explain it with very straightforward and human understandable logic.
And I think that's where direct indexing can help, because just investing in an AI fund, if you're using direct indexing, you actually see the underlying stocks. And of course, if you see the top 30 stocks in Europe or in US, the weighting are a bit different, but that makes that doesn't make looks any dangerous. It's just a list of stocks. So I think that is a way to get transparency into the investment.
Absolutely. And also I think that the element of being able to provide some control on the risk profile, that's very important, because in the end, that's the end result, and that what really would affect the client and impact the client. So once the client can control that, then how the alpha is generated inside of it becomes maybe less important in terms of understanding. So yeah. And do you see in terms of appetite for AI, in terms of market segment and the players you talk to, what are the ones that are more open?
I think it's if you get closer to wealth management, to family offices, I believe the big institution, the pension funds, they are a little bit more reluctant, but that's just because that's the nature of their investments. So I think more not that space. So it's wealth management, family offices, rich people, but I think even young people or the younger generation for sure.
We have discussed a few times the idea of maybe using AI even in the improving the combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where our technology is very close to AI. It's a big regressions, is different kind of methods. And yes, I guess it depends what kind of sector AI you're talking about. The neural networks or that one is still little bit not so big into the portfolio construction yet. But many people are trying to make use of it, and it depends. Like all portfolio construction is depending on the robustness of the individual kind of components. So if you have good robustness, you will do all right with AI as well, in a way.
Yeah. Riccardo, how can a client start using C8?
Well, Daniele, it's quite simple. Of course, when we visit clients, they want to use C8, they just have to contact us. C8 Studio is completely free to use, okay? So you can see all your indices. You can see an infinity of other indices around, or global indices. We do never forget it's a marketplace. So they just have to contact us and we'll create for them a username and password so they can see what the platform C8 Studio can offer them, okay? And of course, we are here to help them as well. And we do dedicated presentations, and whatever they want us, they need to do something special, we are there for them as well. So, and of course, the partnership with you. I know that you have many clients, as you have many clients, they are very satisfied, and you are available to do many kinds of, show them the alternatives, what they have in the platform, okay? So thank you.
Thank you, Riccardo. And well, thanks to both of you for participating. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.